Hi everyone, this is my first tutorial. I wanted to make these tutorials entertaining, educational, and most of all, I want them to make sense. We're going to start today with powering your device because it's the number one thing that has to happen to make your device functional. There are workarounds for other things, but unless you want to MacGyver a battery in the field, we need to know the limitations of our device. So first we're going to talk about the 3 types of way to power your device. First is wall power. We're not going to talk about that today. Second is USB power. We're also not going to talk about that today. We are going to focus on battery power and the 2 main types that you will most likely use. First is alkaline, and we're going to talk about why this is not a good choice. First of all, it takes 4 alkaline batteries to equal 40 minutes of the device to actually function. In a 10-hour workday, you have 600 minutes that have to be covered, and that equals 60 batteries. So that means you would have to change out your batteries 15 times in that day. And all those batteries weigh 3 pounds. And I know 3 pounds isn't a lot, but to have to carry around for a 10-hour day would get rather annoying. I would also like to point out that having to keep track of that many batteries in a 10-hour day and having to dealing with recording a source or deal with where you're going or dealing with a problem is not realistic. It does not make sense. Now we will talk about the standard and why it's a standard and why it's better than using alkaline batteries. That is lithium batteries. This is what we want to use. The first reason is 1 lithium battery equals 200 minutes of power for your device. And you would only need 3 batteries for 600 minutes or 10 hours of work. And those 3 batteries weigh 1.5 pounds, which is half the amount of all those alkaline batteries you'd be carrying around. So you have half the amount of weight, and the amount of times you'd have to change over your batteries is much smaller. This gives you the ability to focus on more important things, knowing that your batteries will last a long time and that you will not be interrupting the interview or the scenario that you're in to say, oh, hey, I'm so sorry my batteries died. No one wants to hear, oh, my batteries died 15 times a day. So that leads us into pre-production before you get out in the field. Please remember to charge your batteries. It is so important to remember to charge your batteries because it is the scariest thing that could ever happen in the field is forgetting to charge your batteries. You're there and you're like, oh, all my batteries are dead. Great. So let's talk about that. This is a unit we'll be using. This is actually a charger you can use in your car, so we're not going to talk about that today. And this is a Euro plug, which we also do not need today. So let's focus on this charging port. So you see the little prongs. Those prongs match up with these holes on the battery. Then you turn it over and you have the prongs to plug into the wall. Now when we flip it back over, we'll match up the indentations in the battery to the other indentations in the charging port. So you connect them in and then you slide it in, and those prongs will match up and be flush with the charging port. So now you take that charging port and plug it into the wall. You can plug it into an extension cord and you can see that it's red, so it's not charged. Once it's turned green, it's charged. So you have 2 lithium batteries that can fit onto the Sound Devices sled. What you want to find on these batteries are the grooves, and then there's also holes for the prongs. So the opposite will be on the Sound Devices sled. You can see the prongs and the grooves there. So you'll take it and you'll line up those grooves with the battery and the sled. So then you'll slide it forward and it'll kind of click into place. It won't be really hard to get in. There might be a little bit of tension, but there shouldn't be a lot. Now we'll turn it over and do the same thing on the backside. So now we're going to put this on our sound devices. We're going to turn it over to the back. This is also where your SD card lives. So now we have a couple things on the sled we need to notice. We have this little protrusion and we also have a little flexible arm. You will slide the protrusion into a groove, and once that is secure in there, you will take the flexible arm and it'll pop into place. So once that's all ready and good, you'll flip it over. There is an on button right here, and you flip that on. And it takes a little bit. There's a little light in the top left-hand corner that will blink, and channels 1, 2, and 3 will flash green. And you'll see the screen right there. So that is how you charge and install your batteries into your sound device mix Pre-3. Thanks for watching, y'all.